Hoyt. I will be helping you today prepare for the SAT, looking at effective language use. There are two main skills for effective language use. One of them is getting rid of wordiness and redundancies, and the other one is matching the style and tone of the passage. Redundancy is the repetition of words that are not needed. Some examples we have here are past history or at 9 o'clock a.m. in the morning. Obviously, history can only take place in the past, and the fact that we're saying 9 a.m. indicates that it is in the morning. Wordiness is using too many words to state a point, often creating an awkward sounding sentence. So let's take a look at some sample questions. Some people buy organic food because they believe it is safer for consumption than traditionally grown crops, which are produced with pesticides and synthetic fertilizers. In the name of health, these consumers spend $1.60 for every dollar they would have spent on food that is grown in a manner that is considered conventional. Option A is no change. Option B, grown with conventional methods using pesticides and fertilizers. Option C, conventionally and therefore not organically grown. Or option D, conventionally grown. A few things to consider. First, let's get rid of any extra words. If you think of Baylor's rule number 1, go with the shortest answer unless the shortest is completely horrible. Number 2, is there anything redundant in the sentence? Okay, let's look at this item. If we look there at the underlined portion, grown in a manner that is considered conventional. That sounds very wordy as it is. So option A, no change, doesn't seem like it's going to be the best answer. If we look at B, it also appears to be long. Grown with conventional methods using pesticides and fertilizers. One thing to keep in mind is read not just the underlined portion, but also read the portion above. See where it says in the previous sentence, produced with pesticides and synthetic fertilizers. So we see that if we have that in the option for the answer, it would end up being repetitive. If we look at option C, conventionally and therefore not organically grown, that's repetitive and that's redundant. So I want to make sure that conventionally and therefore not organically grown, it means the same thing, therefore it is redundant. Option D, if we pay attention to what Baylor tells us, shortest is typically the best answer. This one, if we plug it in, does make the most sense. The other skill we're going to be looking at is making sure we match the style and tone within the passage. So, first let's define style. We see style as how formal or informal is the passage. Next, we see tone. That's defined as, well, what is the author's attitude toward the subject? Remember, you want to keep these consistent. Okay, let's take a look at a sample question. Siqueiros painted the final section at night, away from prying eyes. The reason for the painter's secrecy became clear when the mural was finally confined. Option A, no change. Option B, promulgated. Option C, imparted. Or option D, unveiled. As we take a look and see what type of question this is, we can see it's a context question. So we'll use style to help us answer it. Let's take a look at A, no change. Well, confided kind of makes sense, but not really. So let's take a look and see that when we confide something in somebody, it's a person confiding either a secret or some knowledge into somebody else. A painting can't necessarily confide something to somebody else, so it won't work. Option B, promulgated. Well, I'm not quite sure what this word means, but I also can tell that it doesn't quite fit the style of the rest of the passage, so I'll know this one is correct. Option C, imparted. Well, this one could make sense, but if we think about what imparted means, it means that one person is imparting something to somebody else. Once again, just like option A painting can't impart something to somebody else. Option D, unveiled. Well, a painting can be unveiled. It sounds like it would work, therefore D is the correct answer. So a few things to remember with this skill is to make sure you read more than just the underlined portion. Also, watch out for wordiness and redundancies. And lastly, keep style and tone throughout the whole passage consistent.